G'day, this is Pyrotech, and thank you for tuning in to my Halo 5 Guardians First Impressions video. Please note, this is also my first YouTube video of this kind, so please bear with me while I sort out all the kinks, and hopefully I can start to make this a more regular thing with higher production values and stuff like that. First up, I'll just put it out there, Halo 5 Guardians does not feel like a Halo game. Aim down sight, boosted, sprint, even the control scheme, holding down the left trigger to aim down sight and pressing the right thumbstick to crouch. These kinds of things are undoing more than a decade of what Halo fans expect from a Halo game. I'm not implying it's a bad game. It's well presented, it's well polished, it's pretty fun, not gonna lie. It's not the Halo games that me and many other old school Halo fans were hoping for. You know, if I wanted to play Destiny or Advanced Warfare, which are perfectly good games in their own right, I would play Destiny or Advanced Warfare. I buy Halo games because I love the Halo gameplay, and that's what I was hoping for from Halo 5. The game is called Halo 5 Guardians. However, if you took out the iconic Spartans and the battle rifle, you're left with a first-person shooter that could just as easily be confused with Destiny. 343 has moved away from what made Halo so popular to begin with. I'm sure we've all heard of the acronym KISS, Keep It Simple Stupid. This is the foundation of what Halo was built on in the first place. Let's take a quick history lesson. Halo 1 was the first FPS that got it right for consoles. And right now, there's some motherfucker fuming in the comment section that's going, "Oh, Pyrotech, what about GoldenEye? What about Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64? Just no. Go back and play those games today. They feel dated. They have not aged gracefully at all. The control schemes in those games suck. The Nintendo 64 control itself sucks. It requires you to sacrifice the ability to press buttons on the controller in order to hold it a certain way. You can't tell me that's a pinnacle of first-person shooters on console. Anyway, that's what I was saying. Rather than creating trends like Bungie was able to do with the original Halo, it seems like 343 is trying to copy the latest trends that have been established by the behemoth that is Call of Duty, as well as other recent popular titles such as Destiny and Titanfall. Of course it's fine to take inspiration from other games, but this feels more like a copy-paste job than a little bit of inspiration. If you've been paying attention in the past couple of years, you've probably noticed a common trend in some of the most popular and successful first-person shooters. Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, Destiny, Titanfall, and now Halo 5. They're all examples of this growing trend in movement mechanics. So all these games have some form of booster or jetpack, and I think it's quite obvious that this isn't just a coincidence. All these developers are trying to win over that Call of Duty crowd, and while I'm okay with 343 trying to modernize Halo, I find it a little bit concerning just how much Halo 5 is ripping from these other games rather than trying to improve the core of what made Halo popular in the first place. Instead of adding in armor abilities and boosters and all this crap, why not just improve on the core of Halo? Add in a spectator mode, create a map editor that allows you to design a map on PC and then import it to the game or submit it to 343 for a custom playlist. Give us a larger field of view, create some epic big team maps for up to 32 players. All these things improve on Halo without completely changing the core gameplay. Forge. Forge is a great example of a feature that Bungie added to Halo 3 that gave players the freedom to create maps and use their creativity, but that didn't negatively impact the core gameplay. Anyway, I'll go into a bit of detail about my experience with the beta so far. Firstly, the light direction takes far too much influence from Michael Bay to the point where I feel like I need to take a break from the game after half an hour. Halo 5 has a severe light pollution problem. The sheer amount of light glare and lens flare in this game is blinding, and I feel like I need sunglasses on while I play the game. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the dark areas feel a little too dark, and I find myself constantly backpedaling trying to pick up weapons on the ground, as the user interface isn't quite clear enough and the guns blend into all the clutter. A subtle glowing silhouette around the weapons on the ground would be nice, as it would make it immediately clear what weapons are around you. Something I really like is that the pistol seems to have a quick draw mechanic working, so it actually acts as a sidearm you're able to pull out quickly in the event that you run out of ammo on your primary weapon. That's something I actually suggested in a Halo 3 patch thread years ago, so I'm really happy to see that in the game. The aim assist feels far too forgiving. After playing the original Halo and the Master Chief Collection, shooting people in Halo 5 feels far too easy, and that's when you're shooting against targets with sprint and boosters. It should be 10 times harder for me to get a 5-shot DMR kill against a guy sprinting and boosting away over getting a 3-shot pistol kill on Halo 1, but this isn't the case. I really like the time to kill, it feels fast and I find myself constantly dueling players without being interrupted, but with that said, the assault rifle and the SMG seem a little too powerful considering the lack of skill required to use them. The time to kill on a weapon should be proportionate to the amount of skill it takes to use. I understand that 343 wants to make the assault rifle viable, but I think it needs just a little bit of a nerf at range. The chatter system is interesting, and I understand that a lot of people don't communicate now, but at the same time there needs to be a way to turn it off or to turn it down. I really don't give a shit if my teammate gets a double kill or picks up a DMR. And with the announcer giving me feedback over every kill I get, it's impossible to actually hear enemies coming up behind you. I especially wouldn't want the chatter system interrupting my communication with teammates, so an option to turn it off would be nice. I really don't like that the power weapons are timed for you. The Halo series has already been dumbed down enough. If it's only on a matchmaking I won't mind, but I definitely wouldn't want it to be there in competitive modes. On that note, the announcer explaining that you should control the power weapons to win just sounds really stupid and condescending. Those boy band intros ripped straight from Destiny. I know 343 would like to reach a broader market, but can we please stay away from marketing the game to frat boys? Seeing Spartans high-fiving each other after the game, I don't even have the words. It's just super cheesy and I find it hard to take the game seriously. Perhaps, instead of having the Spartans come out as if they're the Backstreet Boys coming out on stage, they could just have each Spartan pose with their names and perhaps a little fact about each Spartan underneath. For example, if a player had a good kill-death ratio, that number could be displayed, or if someone had a high amount of games played, that could be displayed under their player. It keeps the player intros, and at the same time, it gives each player the spotlight and gives them a little more personality. The clamber ability just seems like a pointless and easy replacement for crouch jumping. I'm not a fan. Aim down sights needs to be cosmetic only. Shooting from the hip should be just as accurate, and I feel like the ADS animation needs to be a little bit faster, as I found myself screwing up my aim with a sniper rifle when I was trying to quickscope people. I'm perfectly fine with ADS otherwise, and I really don't mind the iron sights and stuff, but it's not fluid at the moment and it needs a little bit of work. Now onto the maps. If this is a sign of things to come, I'll be pretty happy. I like both of the maps so far. Truth is a pretty decent remake of Midship, and Empire is okay, although I feel like it needs a rocket launcher or an overshield on the indoor area of the map instead of 2 snipers, since the line of sight is broken up pretty heavily. On that note, we haven't seen nearly enough weapons yet. I'd love the railgun to make a return, and the game feels like it's missing a lot of character without the Covenant weapons. Hopefully we'll see some of them next week when they update their playlists. I also think it's important that some objective games make it into the beta as well, as you can't just balance the game without testing Capture the Flag, King of the Hill and Oddball. The netcode is pretty good, and I haven't seen any obvious hit detection issues, but for the love of all that's good and holy, the game needs to match me up with people from my region, as I'm pretty certain I haven't played a single game that wasn't North American host. This is simply unacceptable in first-person shooters, and I don't give a shit how good your netcode is. Sprinting, I know it's here to stay and I hate it, but I'm going to save that one for its own special video, otherwise this is going to be 20 minutes long. Alrighty, well that sums up my first impressions on Halo 5 Guardians. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed my opinion on Halo 5 so far. If you've enjoyed my content, I'll be eternally grateful if you'd hit like, subscribe or comment below. I'll be creating another Halo 5 beta video after I've had a chance to play the updated playlist next week. Be sure to check out my website pyrotech.com for other game related content, or hit me up on Twitter @pyrotech. Cheers guys.